Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And we are going into the Great Turkey War. It is getting close, y'all. It is almost here. And, I had to bring another stand user up here on Who's That Cosplayer, because, like they say, stand users are drawn to each other. And they're an awesome cosplayer as well. And joining me today is Psychedelusst. Psychedelust? Or I'll call you Lust. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
All right. I'm going to call you Lust. Lust, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's been a long day, but I'm excited to be here.
Hey, that is what I love to hear. Thank you so much for joining me. And I just want to say that I love your setup behind you and whatnot. It very comes off like Stardust Crusaders, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm glad. I love vintage things, so it feels natural that one of my favorite parts is Stardust Crusaders.
Hey, I love that. I love that. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D says every time, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. So, Luz, one of the first questions that I always ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Oh my gosh. Well, I started cosplaying back in middle school.
Nice.
I'm 22 years old now. But around 2013, I want to say, and me and my friends developed something called Cosplay Fridays, where we would just put on random clothing and dress up. We were absolutely so cringe, but we were so free. And I remember my first cosplay was at this little convention, in a park. And I was, of course, cosplaying a character from Homestuck because that was the big thing back then. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been that long.
It seems like an eternity ago.
Mm-hmm. It really does. But the love for cosplaying has just it stayed this whole time,
That's awesome. And I always love hearing people's origin stories because it's just every one of them is so different and whatnot. And like you said, it's just you went to a smaller convention and it stuck with you, and you see where you started from and you see where you are now. And right now, your Polnareff cosplay, I really love it. I've seen that you've done dang, what is her name? I'm having a brain fart right now. Don't say it. What is their name from part 5? Oh my God, not part 5, part 6. Oh my God. And what's happening to me? Is Dio around? Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, Anna Sui. There we go.
I did do Anna Sui, but I did do Trish from part 5 also.
Hey,
JoJo is eternal.
Those people with pink hair, they all see, and that's the reason why I say part 5, because a lot of JoJo fans, they always get Anna Sui and Diavolo mixed up, because the first time I had saw both characters was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes Over Heaven. And when I had saw both of them in the game, I was just so are they the same person? What's going on here? Why did Araki do that? Why did he confuse his fans like that? But no, I want to ask you now, seeing where you started from and then where you're at now when it comes to the con scene, what has been the difference over the years that you've seen?
Oh, okay. I remember I went to Otakon, I think back in maybe 2015. I was very young. And while it was an amazing experience because it's such a large convention, it seemed like back then people were a lot more closed off in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say judgmental, but maybe just they saw cosplay as this one linear thing. You have to be perfectly in this box. Mm-hmm. And I think as I've gotten older and have cosplayed more and more and have gotten into the community again, it's so much more free.
Mm-hmm.
People do what they want. They make changes to their cosplays in the most lovely and creative ways. So I definitely think that's the biggest thing. Like every time I go to a convention now, I'm just, oh my gosh, I love what they did to that character. Oh my gosh, I love what they're doing with that. It's so wonderful to see the creativity. It really is.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And that's something that I love about cosplay is not only do cosplayers level up, but like how you were saying, it's like some people, they thought that they had to be like that one-dimensional thing. Whereas now, it's like you can take Ponarath, for example, and say if you want to do Ponarath cross Star Wars and like give them a lightsaber, you can do that and people won't be judgmental. I mean, of course, you're always gonna have people that are like, oh, like that would never happen. And to those people, but it's just
For
like
sure.
with cosplay, it's just like it's all about having fun and whatever vision you have and you want to do, that's what it's all about. So, since we're talking about like, different cosplays and not being that one-dimensional character, like what have been some of your favorite cosplays that you've done over the years?
Oh, one that I did really, really recently that I don't think I've posted any photos from really or have done anything with, but I cosplayed her once. Lum from Urusei Yatsura.
Nice.
That one was really fun. It was very nerve-wracking. I will say that as someone who is plus sized in the cosplay community. But I got so much love for it, and it was a wonderful experience to bring a character like that back into the like modern anime sphere. I love doing that with characters. Like I don't care how obscure a character is. If I love them, I want to cosplay them.
Yeah, I love that, and that's one of the cool things about cosplay as well, because you can cosplay as characters that, like you said, people probably don't even know who you are, and they probably don't even remember that anime. So I always feel like when you do cosplay that character, there's always going to be those couple of people that are at a con that's just going to be like, oh wow, like you're cosplaying as Lum. Like I remember watching that anime, and I know that that series is supposed to be getting a revival soon. So I mean,
there's like 2 episodes out right now. It's very wonderful.
So I mean, I feel like you should go ahead and post them, because if you post those photos, everybody will be like, hey, like that's fire. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to piggyback off of something that you said, because as being a plus size cosplayer myself, like, has there ever been a time where it's just like you may have gotten a negative comment from somebody? And if you did, how did you handle that situation? And how did you make that into a negative into a positive, from a negative to a positive? There we go.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually with like every TikTok I post, there will be some type of negative comment. And at first, it was a little bit hard to deal with, especially when I was younger, because I was a little bit more self-conscious about who I was. I didn't really necessarily know who I was at that time. And it's become something... I hate saying that I've gotten used to it, because I haven't gotten used to it in the way that it's just like, oh, it's another comment. If anything, they fuel me. I'm like, I feel powerful. I'm like, you know what? I look great in this character. I feel good in this character. And I know I'm slaying. So, it has just become something where it's, though it is really sad that it is kind of inevitable on the internet in the age, that we live in, it just fuels me. I get stronger with every comment. So to the commenters, keep going. I'm winning.
I love that. And I love that attitude, because, to piggyback off of that, like there have been times where it's like, because, I am plus size, but it's just like when you see me in my cosplays and whatnot, like nobody ever comments on me being plus size. What they comment on is the color of my skin. Like, oh, Jotaro's not black, or Deku's not black. And, of course, sometimes it's like I'll see racist comments and whatnot, and I see that stuff and I don't get mad about it, but I get disappointed, because we're in 2022 and you have these people that are trolls that say the stuff that they do and they try to hurt your feelings. But like how you said, you take it and it's just like, no, like that stuff, it fuels me. It gives me the fire that I need. And I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I want to keep on slaying, and nothing that you can say is going to hurt my feelings. So it's like you still feel that hurt sometimes, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm not going to let that drag me down, because that's what they want to do. They want you to feel that way. And like I always say, if somebody has a profile picture that doesn't show what they look like, their opinions don't matter. So that's the way I look at it. Who's that cosplayer?
Girl on Fire Cosplay.
You know?
I think definitely, you know, while I don't necessarily get upset at the comments that are geared towards me, if I see a younger cosplayer that's struggling with really, you know, hateful comments, that's when I get really upset, because I'm like, they're not at the spot where I am, where you know, it ricochets right off of me. So when it comes to like younger cosplayers or cosplayers that are just starting and I see those comments, that's when I get really upset, because I'm like, everyone starts somewhere, and it's I don't know. That's the mama bear. I'm like, it just upsets me so much.
No, I feel you on that. And I was telling my co-host Rebellious D that whenever people like try to say stuff, like I always make time for them. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here, and because I know, like you said, like not everybody knows how to handle those type of situations, and like they don't know how to deal with confrontation, especially if they're younger. But if like they see somebody like us and we're defending ourselves and we're defending them and whatnot, because I hate that as well. Like somebody could do a really cool cosplay, but then it's just like, oh, you're overweight, or oh, like, why are you cosplaying this character? You should be cosplaying this character. It's just like, just shut up. Like nobody asked you for your opinion. If you're gonna come here and be negative, then just be negative and just, you know, keep talking to yourself, because it's just like I'm not gonna give you that energy that you want, but I am going to make time and I'm going to put you in your place. That's the energy that I'm going to give you. And, you know, usually like that makes me feel good. I don't know. Like I love like going back. I love trolling trolls. Like I'll troll them, and sometimes it makes me get off of work late, but I don't care because I'm trolling them. So I want to ask you now, what has been one of your favorite moments from going to cons over the years?
Oh my gosh. There's so many wonderful moments. I remember, gosh, I keep going back to the early things, but the first thing that I can think of was at Otakon, that first big convention I ever went to. I was so nervous. I was with two other friends, one of them being Jessie, Saturn's Jupiter, little baby Saturn's Jupiter. And I remember I was just walking around, you know, kind of sticking to myself for a second, just in awe of the surroundings. I was like, there's so many people here, so many cosplayers. And I think I was in like Onata from Yomushi Pedal or something like that. And I remember seeing a very accurate No Face from Spirited Away cosplay that came up to me like on the other side of the window that I was looking out of, and held out their hand, and the little gold came out, and I was like,
oh no.
and this experience had like the surrounding 20 or 30 people just looking and going, oh. And I remember that moment made me feel so good. That moment made me think, this is why I do this. This is just so fun. This is where people can be themselves, and that's just a moment I always think back to.
That's awesome. And see, and the reason why I was laughing hard for that, because I finally watched Spirited Away for the first time this year. So it's like, I get the reference now. Yeah, I know. It's just, hey, I have a long list like Steve Rogers, and I'm watching all of the Studio Ghibli films. And yeah, Spirited Away, it is a good film. I will say that. My favorite is always Kiki's Delivery Service, since that was the first one that I actually saw. But yeah, Spirited Away was really good. So, you know, now I want to ask you, because like I said at the start of this interview, the Great Turkey War is coming up. And, you know, every year It's just like it's me versus the turkey. There was even one year where me and the turkey was fighting each other, and you know he was doing the Dio walk and I was doing the Jotaro pose. And I'm gonna post that photo because it's always a fun photo to post. But now I can actually post a photo, right? And I'll actually be in the Jotaro outfit because originally, like, I was just shirtless and had on some sweatpants. It was just funny. But anyway, I gotta know, and the viewers have to know, what is your favorite dish that you love to have on Thanksgiving?
Oh my gosh. Oh, see, my family, we're a little bit boring, so we kind of don't stray away from like the traditional like foods.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with turkey.
Okay.
I will literally gobble that shit up. It is delicious. But I have a really big sweet tooth. Okay. So I love apple pie. My mom makes a wonderful apple pie. We make pumpkin pie. But something a little bit more personal that I make around this time of the year is pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Those
ooh, I've never had
them.
that. Hey, look, your boy was watering from the mouth. Man, like I never had that. That sounds really good.
I have some in the fridge right now. Just made them last night.
Man, hey, look, I'm gonna have to make a trip up to where you are. I'll put on the deck. I'll put the Deku cosplay on, so that way I can just run up to you, so that way I can get those cookies. Because like that sounds amazing. Like I've never even heard of those cookies before. So I think that's awesome. Now I gotta ask you, because you say you love to gobble up the turkey. Do you gobble it up plain, or do you love to have gravy?
Everyone in my family loves gravy. My mom makes her own gravy. I don't eat the gravy.
What? No.
I'm horrible. I'm bad. I know. I know. I've lost points. We got to cut the interview right
I was just
now.
about, hey, look, I'm glad that you said that, because I was just about to be like, hey, well, you know, we're here at the end of the interview. Thank you so much, Leslie. But no, I mean, like, I love gravy. But I mean, people, they might let you know in the comments, like, hey, I'm gonna have to take you out. See, now is it really about to be like Stardust Crusaders? So, one thing that I love when I have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplayers up here, I always got to ask these questions, because you already mentioned that Stardust Crusaders is your favorite part in the JoJo series. Now I got to know, which JoJo is your favorite?
Ooh, see, that's hard, because that's something I struggle with figuring out myself. While Stardust Crusaders is like my favorite animated part, Jotaro is not my favorite Joestar. Okay. I think my favorite has to be tied between Jonathan or Johnny. I don't think I could pick between the two, because I like them for really different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think those are the two that I'm picking between. And then Jolene as a third.
I mean, like, those are good choices, and it's like, I love that you said Jonathan and Johnny, because it's just like their personalities. It's like, it's I mean, like, I totally understand it. So now I gotta ask you, who is your favorite villain out of all the parts?
Oh, I'm gonna get canceled.
Who are you gonna say?
Oh, I may be biased because I cosplay him. And here's the deal. I hate him. He is probably one of the characters I hate the most. But Funny Valentine for me is like one of the most interesting villains. I love his design. Yep. He's fascinating. But as for like a more minor villain, Whole Horse is...
Everybody loves Whole Horse. Everybody loves Whole Horse. I mean, who doesn't love Whole Horse? Hey, he's just a simple man that's just trying to, smoke that cigarette and live his life. He doesn't want to be bothered. And of course, it's like the Joestars and all of the friends and whatnot. They always gotta try to come and mess things up. But yeah, I mean, like, that's sweet. That's sweet. And it's like I said, I always gotta ask the JoJo questions, because it's like when I have the JoJo cosplayers up here, it's like your boy has to know. So we are here at the end of the interview. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Oh, okay. Mainly I'm on Instagram and TikTok. Instagram a little less. I need to post a bit more. But on both, I am Psychedelust. Psychedelust. Had to spell it out with my hands.
Hey, let them know. Let them know. And y'all make sure that y'all go and follow Psychedelust on all of their social media accounts and support them and whatnot. And you know where you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. So thank you again, Psychedelust, for joining me up here on a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. Y'all make sure y'all check out some more interviews, reviews, reaction videos that we have here on the channel. Check out our podcast. We have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description, and then the video of that episode is up here on YouTube on Friday. So make sure that y'all prepare for the turkey war. Y'all keep those pinkies up, stay safe, and we'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.